The kingdom of Juru was ruled by King Ushe and his lovely wife, Queen Ada. They were known for their kindness and wisdom, beloved by their subjects. However, despite their wealth and power, they had been unable to conceive a child for many years. This caused them great sorrow, and the palace often echoed with the queen's quiet prayers. One evening, Queen Ada sat in the palace, her face filled with worry. King Ushe joined her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "My dear, do not lose hope," he said gently. "The gods have their own timing for everything." Queen Ada sighed, looking up. "I pray that time comes soon, my king. Our people need an heir, and I long to hold our child in my arms." Months passed. Queen Ada felt a change within her. She visited the hospital, who confirmed the miraculous news. "Your Majesty," the doctor said, bowing deeply, "you are with child. The gods have finally answered your prayers." Tears of joy streamed down Queen Ada's face as she rushed to find her husband, King Ushe. "My king, my love," she cried, "we are going to have a child." King Ushe's eyes widened in disbelief before filling with tears of happiness. "This is the best news I have ever received, Ada. We must share this joy with our people." The news spread like wildfire throughout the kingdom. Villagers danced and sang in the streets, and the palace was filled with laughter and celebration. That evening, a grand feast was held in the palace. King Ushe stood before the gathered crowd, holding Queen Ada's hand. "My people," he announced, "we have been blessed with the greatest gifts. Soon, we will welcome a new member into our family and our kingdom." The crowd erupted in cheers, and the sound of drums and flutes filled the air. Queen Ada looked around at the smiling faces, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "Thank you, my king," she whispered, "for always believing." As the celebration continued late in the night, Queen Ada placed a hand on her growing belly, silently promising to protect and cherish the life within her. The future looked brighter than ever for the royal family and the kingdom of Juru. In the neighboring village, a successful businessman named Emeka and his wife, Regina, were also expecting their first child. Their union had brought prosperity to their family, and now, with a child on the way, their happiness knew no bound. One sunny afternoon, Regina sat in their living room, cradling her belly. "Emeka, our lives are about to change," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Emeka smiled warmly, taking her hand. "Indeed, my love, this child will complete our family and bring us even more joy." As Regina's pregnancy progressed, it became apparent that her due date coincided with that of Queen Ada. One day, while visiting the market, Regina ran into an old friend. "Regina, have you heard? The queen and you are due to give birth around the same time." The friend remarked with a grin. Regina laughed. "Yes, it seems the gods have a sense of humor. It's a special time for both of us." As the days turned into weeks, both women prepared for the arrival of their babies. The anticipation was high in both households. The royal palace was filled with activity as preparations were made for the queen's delivery. "Everything must be perfect for the arrival of our heir," King Ushe instructed the servants, his excitement barely contained. Meanwhile, Emeka was equally ensuring Regina's comfort. "I have arranged for the best midwife to assist you, my dear," he told Regina one evening. "Nothing is too good for our child." The fateful day finally arrived. Both women went into labor simultaneously and were rushed to the same hospital. Queen Ada was carried into a private suite, while Regina was taken to a nearby room. Queen Ada was in Ward 1, surrounded by the best medical care the kingdom could offer. Just a few doors in Ward 2, Regina, the businessman's wife, prepared to welcome her own child into the world. Both women were attended by the same doctor, Dr. Marcel, not knowing that the destinies of their children were at stake. Dr. Marcel moved swiftly between the two worlds, ensuring both women were comfortable. The moment arrived first in Ward 1 with a final push. Queen Ada gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The cries of the newborn filled the room, bringing tears of joy to her eyes. "It's a boy, Your Majesty," Dr. Marcel announced, placing the baby in her arms. King Uche's face lighted up with pride and joy. "Our son, our heir," he whispered, his voice trembling with emotion. "Welcome, little one." Not long after, Dr. Marcel hurried to Ward 2, just in time to deliver Regina's baby. Another robust cry echoed through the hospital as Regina gave birth to a healthy baby boy. "Congratulations, it's a boy," Dr. Marcel said warmly, handing the baby to Regina. Regina and Emeka looked at their son with overwhelming love. "Our son," Regina whispered, tears streaming down her face. "He's perfect." Emeka could hardly contain his happiness. "He's everything we hope for, Regina. Our family is complete." As both mothers breastfeed their newborn sons, Dr. Marcel ensured both were healthy and stable. "Both mothers and babies are doing well," he reported to the relieved fathers, who sighed with deep satisfaction. The births were celebrated by the entire hospital staffs, who were inspired by the miracle of life. As night fell, the hospital quieted down. The new families drifted into a peaceful sleep, their hearts full of hope and love, unaware of what the next day holds. The next morning, both babies were brought to the birthing area, their tiny distinct features noted by the nurses. As Nurse Faith carried Queen Ada's baby to the birthing room, Nurse Faith noticed that the king's baby lost his breath, and she rushed to call the doctor, but Dr. Marcel pleaded with Nurse Faith to exchange the king's non-breathing baby with Emeka's breathing baby. Nurse Faith disagreed, saying that if they find out, she will be in trouble. But Dr. Marcel explained how King Uche has been looking for a child for long, and besides, King Uche doesn't deserve to have a dead baby. Nurse Ella agreed this time. They both switched the babies. Dr. Marcel handed the baby to Queen Ada with a smile. "Your Majesty, your son is all cleaned up and ready for you." Queen Ada took the baby in her arms, not noticing anything amiss. "Thank you, Doctor," she said warmly. "He is perfect." Immediately they carried the breathing baby to King Uche and Queen Ada. The non-breathing baby started breathing. Nurse Faith felt happy and wanted to return the baby, but Dr. Marcel said no, that they could be in trouble if they find out, and Dr. Marcel took the king's baby to Regina as their baby. "Here you go, Regina. Your little one is all set," he said cheerfully. Regina beamed as she held her son. "Thank you, Doctor. He is so precious." Both families, filled with joy, prepared to leave the hospital. King Uche and Queen Ada were escorted to their carriage, their son securely in Queen Ada's arm. "Our journey as a family begins," King Uche said, his voice filled with pride. Emeka and Regina, with their own son, made their way to their car. "Our son will bring us so much happiness," Emeka said, gently kissing their son's forehead. As the families departed from the hospital, none of them noticed that their child had been switched as they left with the wrong child. Days turned into weeks, and the families settled into their new routines, each taking care of their son. Queen Ada and King Uche proudly presented their child to the kingdom, while Emeka and Regina introduced their baby to family and friends. Despite the initial joy, small peculiarity began to emerge. Queen Ada noticed that her son seemed to have different features than she remembered. "My king, does our son look different to you?" she asked one evening, studying the baby's face. King Uche frowned slightly. "Babies change quickly, Ada. I'm sure he's just growing." Similarly, Regina found herself puzzled by her son's appearance. "Emeka, do you think our son looks different than when he was born?" she asked. Emeka shrugged, dismissing her concern. "All babies change, Regina. He's perfect just the way he is." As the months passed, the families continued to raise their children with love and care, unaware of the twist of fate that had brought them to this point. 3 months has passed since the birth of the 2 boys in the palace. Queen Ada and King Uche had named their son Eze, a name that meant king in their native tongue. They took very good care of him, celebrating every little milestone with joy and pride. One morning, King Uche decided it was time to perform an important royal tradition. "Ada," he said, approaching the queen as she played with Eze, "we need to check for the royal scar on our son's hand. It signifies his rightful place as the heir to the throne." Queen Ada nodded, recalling the tradition that marked the first sons of their royal lineage. "Of course, my king, let's see it." King Uche gently took Eze's tiny hand and turned it over, searching for the small distinct scar that had been placed on the first son of the royal family for generations. His brow furrowed as he examined the smooth skin. "Ada, there is no scar," he said, confusion evident in his voice. Queen Ada's face peeled. "What do you mean? The scar should be there. It has always been there on the first sons." "I know," King Uche replied, his concern growing, "but it's not here. This is very unusual." The couple exchanged worried glances, their hearts pounding. "Could there have been a mistake?" Queen Ada asked, her voice trembling.